Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go on vacation, to go to the woods and spend your little bit of a big vacation at a cabin? Well, we've seen that happen in some movies, like The Evil Dead, but that's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm not re-reviewing that. Not yet, anyway. No, it's this film right here from Eli Roth himself, and it's about a group of teens who fall victim to a flesh-eating virus. This is my review of the original Cabin Fever. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2002 comedy horror flick Cabin Fever, released by Lionsgate, co-written and directed by Eli Roth in his directorial debut, and the first installment of a franchise, starring Ryder Strong, Jordan Ladd, James DeBello, Cerina Vincent, Joy Kern, and Giuseppe Andrews, excuse me. This was inspired by a real life experience where Roth developed a skin infection during a trip to Iceland. The story follows a group of college students who rent a cabin in the woods and fall victim to an unknown flesh eating disease. Lionsgate, along with Black Sky Entertainment, released this film on September 12, 2003, a year after it made its premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival. And did pretty decent and what have you. Alright. Henry, a hermit walking in the woods, encounters his dog dead from a blood infection and becomes infected himself from contact with his dog's blood. College students Jeff, Marcy, Paul, Karen, and Bert take a vacation to a remote cabin to celebrate October break. Bert leaves to hunt squirrels but accidentally shoots the now disfigured and bloody Henry. Despite Henry's pleas for aid, Bert flees and remains silent about the incident. As the students gather around the campfire that night, they are joined by a friendly drifter named Grim and his pet dog, Dr. Mambo. When it rains, Grim leaves with his dog. While the friends wait for Grim, Henry stumbles into their camp begging for help. When Bert shuts the door on the sick hermit, he tries to steal the group's car while vomiting blood. Yikes. When Henry approaches Marcy and Karen, Paul accidentally sets him on fire. Next day, while seeking help fixing their truck, Jeff and Bert encounter a butcher but leave after learning that she is Henry's cousin. Paul calls police deputy Winston, who promises to send up a tow truck. Paul tries comforting Karen, who is upset over Henry's death. After calming her down, Paul attempts to have sex with her, only to discover a bloody infected wound on her thigh. The group isolates her in a shed. After fixing the truck, Bert coughs up blood but hides it from the others and drives off after Paul and Jeff find out. Jeff takes the remaining beer and leaves, terrified of becoming infected. Bert seeks help at a convenience store, but angers the owner after his disturbed son, Dennis, bites him. Bert flees, chased by Dennis's father and two friends. At the cabin, Marcy worries that they will all contract the disease. Paul comforts her, and they impulsively have sex. Soon after, he leaves the cabin to find Jeff, while Marcy takes a bath, crying. As she shaves her legs, the flesh begins to peel off, and she runs outside in a panic, where she is mauled and eaten alive by Dr. Mambo. Paul discovers Henry's body floating in the reservoir and realizes that the infection is spreading through the water supply. Returning to the cabin, Paul finds Marcy's bloody remains and sees Dr. Mambo feeding on a weakened Karen. After killing the dog with Bert's gun, Paul mercy kills Karen with a shovel. A dying Bert returns to the cabin, pursued by Dance's father and his two companions. The posse kills Bert, and Paul kills all three of them. Paul looks for Jeff and instead finds Grimm's corpse in a cave. Paul takes the convenience store's truck and, while driving, discovers that he is infected before hitting a deer. He reunites with Deputy Winston, who is partying with underage drinkers. Paul requests a ride to the hospital, but before the group departs, Winston is ordered to kill on site several infected people on a killing spree. Now for the ending, you know the procedure. Excuse me. You have 5 seconds to sum this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue once the 5 seconds are over with. Okay, you've been warned. Paul attacks but does not kill Winston as he attempts to hitch a ride. He falls unconscious and gets picked up by a passing vehicle whose occupant drops him off at a hospital. The doctors request Deputy Winston to transfer Paul another medical facility. Well, to another one. The next day, Jeff, who had been hiding out and drinking in the woods, returns to the cabin. Initially crying after seeing the remains of his friends, he becomes ecstatic upon realizing that he survives. As he raises his arms in victory, he's killed by local police, and his body burned with the remains of Bert and Karen. The sheriff asks Winston if he took care of Paul. Two kids get water from the lake for their lemonade stand, not realizing that a barely alive Paul is in the lake and contaminating the water. The sheriff and his deputies stop by the convenience store owned by the children's grandfather, where they buy glasses of lemonade in the story. So, what did I think of Cabin Fever? Now, I've seen this a few times. This is a pretty bloody film and what have you, even though it's a comedy horror, but hey, I think it's more of a horror in ways because of what this virus does, and it is freaky. But anyway, I found this to be a pretty good film and what have you. Anyway, upon its release, it really did pretty well. And well, upon its release, it was just so well received and did pretty well, making 30 million at the box office on its $1.5 million budget. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has at 62%. They say more gory than scary. This film is satisfied with paying homage to genre conventions rather than reinventing them. Metacritic has a score of 56. Peter Jackson, yes, the director of the Lord of the Rings franchise, was a notable fan of the film, having seen the film from a print sent to him. Yeah. And Jackson suspended production on Return to King twice in his native New Zealand to have it screened to his cast and crew members. He complimented the film as an unrelenting, gruesomely funny bloodbath. Quentin Tarantino also expressed his admiration for the film, calling Roth the future of horror. Some critics said the film suffered from genre and tone inconsistencies, with Roger Ebert comparing the flaw to kids on those arcade games where the target lights up and you have to stomp on it. And was also critical that the film alternates between horror and weird humor, getting nowhere, and said it could develop its plague story in a serious way, like a George Romero picture or 28 Days Later. Entertainment Weekly said the film is what 28 Days Later would have looked like had it been made without style, subtlety, grunge of night video photography, or fashionable apocalyptic pretensions. Oh well. And well, Entertainment with the review for Entertainment Weekly, Owen Gleiberman said it was a big, dumb, crude, noisy goose the audience bash and proud of it. While reviewers observed the film's homage to low-budget horror and thriller films, including the original Night of the Living Dead, Deliverance, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first two Evil Dead films, and the Blair Witch Project, IGN said the film struggles valiantly to be both a worthy addition to and simultaneous homage to these genres, becoming instead a passably enjoyable slab of schlock. Well, that's understandable. But anyway, I feel like this was a pretty shocking film and what have you, and was really bloody. Upon its release, it did spawn a franchise. It gained a sequel, which would come out direct to video years later in the form of Spring Break, and then a third film, which was actually a prequel called Patient Zero. In 2016, there would be a remake of this, but everybody was not impressed with it. I saw it too, and I wasn't impressed with it either. It felt like it was a shot for shot remake, and actually, as a matter of fact, it was. The music done by Nathan Barr and Angelo Badalamenti wasn't too bad. It was pretty good. Yes. However, since I am not going to review the remake, though, since it got panned by critics really big time, as critics called that one pointless and derivative, Eli Roth said he was genuinely happy with the remake. Well, I can understand and what have you. Now, for the cast, we have Ryder Strong playing Paul. He was pretty good. Jordan Ladd played Karen. Good. James DeBello, who I've seen this dude before. I believe he was in the first American Pie. And I know I think he was in Scary Movie 2, I believe. He played Bert. He was pretty good. And he was major crazy. Joy Kern played Jeff. And Cerina Vincent played Marcy. Very good. Ari Verveen played Henry the Hermit. Very good. Eli Roth himself actually appeared as the characters of Justin and, well, aka Grimm. While Giuseppe Andrews, who I remembered him from a real underrated film, that being Detroit Rock City, played Deputy Winston. He was pretty good in that. He would return to play that character in the sequel, which I'll review that in the prequel, however, later on down the road. But anyway, despite that's mostly a mixed bag and what have you, but Cabin Fever is pretty good and what have you, the original. I mean, it's got some good characters and some pretty good actors and what have you. The story's pretty decent enough, and so was the freakiness of the how the the fleshing virus occurred on everyone. Yeah, that was freak again. That was freaky. I think Cabin Fever was pretty good, but would I recommend it to you? I'd say hell yeah, go for it. This film you definitely must see. Cabin Fever, it's a good film, and I think it's gonna be worth looking into if you want to check out. So, what did you think of Cabin Fever, the original, of course? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow, make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you like. Join me next time when I review Triple X State of the Union. So if you like this, consider checking out some of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of a real classic, the original Night of the Living Dead from George A. Romero that came out in the 60s. The upper right hand corner is my review of another film that took place out in the woods, but in a camp though, and that would be my re-review of the original Friday the 13th. Or if you'd like a little more something that occurs with maybe a disease or a virus or what have you, check out my recent TV log special on HBO's The Last of Us, which just started its second season. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.